Good afternoon and welcome. We are so excited for you to join us for this very special event honoring a vital partnership in this community. My name is Elizabeth Woolsey and I serve on the Kosair Charities Advisory Council. It is a privilege to be today's MC and to share in this moment commemorating a significant milestone in this powerful partnership between UofL and Kosair Charities. Kosair Charities, as you know, is deeply woven into the University of Louisville and its medical community. Today, joining us via Zoom, we have doctors, patients, researchers, staff, and university leaders who have experienced and benefited from the generosity of Kosair Charities. During today's event, you'll be able to see how this transformational partnership allowed these members and many more to dream big and build a brighter future for the children of Kentuckiana. For the members of the Kosair Charities community that are joining us, the Board of Directors, Advisory Council, staff, and leaders, today's event is also a celebration of you. You are the force behind it all. Your work truly is helping children realize their potential, overcome obstacles, and live life to the fullest. Later today, we'll be joined by University of Louisville President Neely Bendapudi and Kosair Charities President Keith Inman, who will share more about this enduring relationship that has impacted so many. But we will also be celebrating a historic giving milestone in this partnership between UofL and Kosair Charities. Let's start this celebration. To really understand the significance of today, one must look at the long-standing history of collaboration and partnership between Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville that dates back to the 1920s. Dr. W. Barnett Owen and other University of Louisville physicians saw an urgent need to provide long-term medical care to disabled children in the Louisville area and throughout the state. In 1923, a committee incorporated to form Kosair Charities Committee, Inc., and bought 6 acres of land on Eastern Parkway for a children's hospital. Over the next several years, Kosair Crippled Children Hospital saw tremendous growth and became a state-of-the-art facility. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, as the care for children continued to change, Kosair Charities began to collaborate with the Children's Hospital, part of Norton Infirmary, under the advisement of University of Louisville pediatric physicians. During this time, Kosair Charities contributed $25,000 to the university by establishing a Kosair Charities Chair of Orthopedic Surgery at the University of Louisville School of Medicine. But starting in 1982, Kosair Charities broadened its scope of support beyond hospital care, leading to its transformation into a grant-giving organization offering support for a wide range of services for children. That same year, Kosair Charities gave its next significant gift to the university with its first endowment of the Billy F. Andrews, MD, Endowed Chair in Pediatrics. This gave the University of Louisville a unique opportunity to expand its clinical care, medical care, pediatric research, and community engagement.
The relationship started in 1982 when they endowed the Billy F. Andrews Endowed Chair for Pediatrics. Billy F. Andrews was the chair of pediatrics for many years. He did some amazingly innovative work in the care of newborns and premature infants. And they've endowed chairs such as the Billy F. Andrews Endowed Chair, as well as a chair for cardiovascular surgery research. They also have funded a pediatric child abuse division or forensics medicine. They help us diagnose and treat child abuse. They help us advocate in the legislature as well as at the level of law enforcement, et cetera, to help recognize child abuse and then do something to get kids into safe environments. Another area where they've done a lot is in pediatric cancer, not just with physicians, but with nurse navigators, with social workers, and people that help that broad experience of having a child with cancer and how scary that can be and how much support those kids need. And they've dedicated a lot of resources to helping us provide an autism center, which didn't exist until just not that many years ago. And now we can reach out, provide not only diagnosis, but therapies and broader support with psychologists and language pathologists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, et cetera. Another mission is education. We want to do two things. We want to educate the community, and we want to educate our trainees, our students and our residents, to be able to provide the pediatric workforce of tomorrow. And if we don't do it, no one else will, right? They have supported two of our fellowships. One, pediatric infectious disease, which is one of our first fellowships. And that fellowship has gone on to provide trainees that have done amazing things. For instance, leadership at the CDC. One person now is the leader of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. One of them is the current president of the Pediatric Infectious Disease Society and worked with the World Health Organization leaders to advocate for children around COVID. Another area is the Pediatric Child Abuse Fellowship. That fellowship trains pediatric residents who want to go on and do 3 more years on how to take care of children, diagnose children, treat children, and advocate and work within the legal system on behalf of those children. The financial support of the charities has allowed us to really give unique and interesting opportunities to those trainees. One of our main mission and vision focuses is research and innovation, and they have provided the support for buildings, like our Kosair Charities Pediatric Center building, and we wouldn't have that space if it wasn't for the Kosair Charities. The other pieces, we do have a Pediatric Research Institute that is basic science research, and the space for that was supported by a grant from the Kosair Charities, and so we do a lot of clinical research, especially around pharmacokinetics and pharmacological products for patients, chemotherapy products, etc., for different cancers, and so that's really exciting.
Since the first endowment almost 40 years ago, Kosair Charities has continued to be an unwavering supporter of many children's health programs and research programs at the University of Louisville. We'd like to take a moment to highlight just a few. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Kentucky has the highest child abuse rate in the country. To help put an end to child abuse, Kosair Charities has given more than $6 million to the Kosair Charities Division of Pediatric Forensic Medicine at UofL's Department of Pediatric Medicine, as well as founded the Face It movement dedicated to child abuse intervention and prevention. Dr. Melissa Curry, Division Chief, and Dr. Terry Brooks, Executive Director of Kentucky Youth Advocates, explain more.
By evaluating children who are suspected victims, we're able to identify child maltreatment before it escalates and becomes more serious. We also do a ton of training out in the community with support of Kosair Charities. We talk to audiences ranging from social workers to judges to prosecutors, law enforcement, medical providers, nurses, etc. Daycare providers is another example. And by teaching recognition skills to those professionals who interact with children in their day-to-day lives, we're hopefully improving our ability to detect abuse and intervene, again, early before it escalates to become more dangerous. Kosair Charities was our first ever supporter, and they have been consistently our most steadfast supporter. To date, they've given our program, the Kosair Charities Division of Pediatric Forensic Medicine, over $6 million. This has enabled us to see so many more patients than we otherwise would have been able to evaluate, and to have such a more significant impact throughout the state of Kentucky. It is so critical to have the Kosair Charities support going forward, because this isn't a service that is billed to insurance. This is not something we want to charge families for, and that philanthropic support from Kosair Charities has really been the cornerstone of our ability to provide these services.
I am both humbled by and inspired by Kosair Charities' Face It movement, an initiative founded by and funded by Kosair Charities to end child abuse in Kentucky, in a state that has led and still leads this nation in the rate of child abuse and neglect. Our kids desperately need the kind of synergy that Kosair Charities is generating. It means preachers and principals, journalists and judges, policemen and parents coming together to battle this plague on our Commonwealth. And it also means pediatricians, which is where the amazing partnership between Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville School of Medicine comes in. Led by Dr. Melissa Curry, UofL has tirelessly worked with FACE IT to systemically tackle this issue. That means being there when a tragedy occurs. That means contributing intellect and sweat equity to prevention efforts. And that means being a cornerstone as we seek to change policies in Frankfurt to address this issue through a long-term, sustainable, and macro strategy. Synergy. That is the force to tackle society's most complex and pressing problems. In Kosair Charities, the University of Louisville School of Medicine, and the more than 100 other FACE IT partners exemplify that powerful force when it comes to facing the pandemic of child abuse across Kentucky.
Worldwide, a child is diagnosed with cancer every 3 minutes, and 1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer will die within 5 years. This translates to 91,250 children dying of cancer each year, or 250 per day. Between 2007 and 2013, Kosair Charities gave a generous gift of $12,500,000 to UofL Health Brown Cancer Center that enabled the creation of the Kosair Charities Pediatric Oncology Research Program. This program is focused exclusively on the drug development for pediatric cancers and understanding the nature of pediatric cancer. Dr. Jason Chesney and Dr. Kelly McMasters of the UofL Health Brown Cancer Center explained the importance of this program.
Worldwide, a child is diagnosed with cancer every 3 minutes, and 1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer will die within 5 years. Over 90,000 children die of cancer each year, or 250 each day, and the number of cases of childhood cancer has increased 30% over the last 20 years. We cannot allow our children to suffer and die of cancer anymore. Kosair Charities has been at the forefront of fighting childhood cancers in our region by investing in transformative research at the University of Louisville's Brown Cancer Center to develop new drugs to combat childhood cancers. In 2007, Kosair Charities donated $12.5 million to create the Brown Cancer Center's Kosair Charities Pediatric Cancer Research Program. The gift was matched by the state's Bucks for Brains program, creating a $10 million endowment that supports cutting-edge cancer researchers.
I'm Kelly McMasters. I'm chair of the Department of Surgery, and I'm a surgical oncologist. I cut out cancer for a living, and I've been doing that for my entire adult life. And I thought I knew a thing or two about taking care of cancer patients, and until my son Owen developed leukemia at age 11. And then I found out how little I really knew about taking care of patients with cancer and taking care of kids with cancer. Owen developed leukemia, and for 4.5 years, he got the best treatments available. And the best treatments for that kind of cancer are the most toxic treatments, the ones that cause the most side effects. And despite all of that, it failed to cure his cancer, but it caused a lot of suffering and side effects. As an adult surgical oncologist taking care of patients in the melanoma clinic at the Brown Cancer Center, along with Dr. Chesney, I lived through the revolution of immunotherapy, where we see patients with incurable stage 4 metastatic melanoma and now many other types of cancer, who previously wouldn't have lived 7 or 8 months, and for whom every type of chemotherapy and radiation was ineffective. But stimulating the body's own immune system can result in a cure for some of these people who had incurable cancer before. This is why we're doing a lot of immuno-oncology research at the Brown Cancer Center. This is why in the Department of Surgery, along with the James Graham Brown Cancer Center, in the last 1.5 years, we established the Division of Immunotherapy that is focused on research to develop new types of strategies to use the immune system to treat cancer. We were at the verge of using my own son Owen's cancer to test immunotherapy. And in fact, in the test tube, we could cure his cancer every day, but we ran out of time. But what Owen would want is for us to continue this research so that other children don't have to suffer like he did.
Kosair Charities has continued to support the development of new drugs to fight childhood cancers with an emphasis on immunotherapies that activate the immune system against the child's cancer. The support for this program has translated into millions of dollars of support for pediatric cancer research at the University of Louisville and the development of clinical trials testing novel immunotherapies. In particular, the Brown Cancer Center was just awarded a new $11.5 million grant to develop novel immunotherapies from the National Institutes of Health. Supporting Kosair Charities means supporting our fight against childhood cancer so that one day children won't have to suffer and die from cancer.
It was just 7 years ago when Kosair Charities invested in a vision, that vision being to provide the best care for spinal cord injuries, conduct cutting-edge research to guide our therapies, and to train the next generation of therapists, physicians, and researchers in a recovery-based program. With a $7.3 million investment, the University of Louisville's Kosair Charities Center for Pediatric Neurorecovery was established in 2014. Dr. Andrea Bierman, director of this innovative program, shares how a day doesn't pass where her team and patients do not feel the impact that Kosair Charities has made in the lives of children and their families.
Luke was born prematurely at 33 weeks, and just early on as an infant, we kind of started noticing that he didn't feel quite right. He was a little bit flappy and wasn't holding his head up and moving the way that our daughter had when she was born. We started therapy at that time for him. He started at 5 months old. I joined a Facebook group that was called Parents of Kids with Spinal Cord Injuries. And I kept seeing people post about, they did this intense rehab program or about Frazier.
The Center for Pediatric Neurorecovery was launched officially in 2014. Our first goal when we started this center was to start a clinic. Children with spinal cord injury are paralyzed. That's obvious to us, but they're paralyzed so that often they can't use their arms or sit up. For years, they've had no hope. So we've been able to treat them in ways that said, we can't change your outcome, but we're going to help you adapt. And with this launching of Kosair Charities Center for Pediatric Neurorecovery, we opened our doors to children with spinal cord injury. And now we're using a smart spinal cord below the injury to tap into that smart spinal cord and change a child's capacity to move below the injury. So if you can't sit upright, you end up using your arms to hold yourself up, or you're strapped into a chair, and it limits your ability to engage in the world, to play a game, to do artwork, to feed yourself.
Just the whole philosophy of, retraining the spinal cord from the ground up, mind-blowing, because it was not anything that I had heard from any of our doctors. And we live in Minnesota. We have really great, doctors there too, and I hadn't heard any of this. He was never stood on his feet during our entire, year of therapy. And so I just decided that I needed to talk to them and find out more. I went downstairs and I told my husband, we're gonna go to Louisville. We need to go to Louisville.
So when we say you have a smart spinal cord, so it turns out the spinal cord's similar to your brain, and it can receive information and use that information to help generate a motor output. So we have several therapies. One's called activity-based locomotor training. Out of that, a child can help develop their trunk control, their arm function even gets better, respiratory control gets better. So we're actually taking them on a treadmill and, in a way, simulating, even though we're facilitating their walking and their upright posture.
I had never heard all of these things. So it gave me hope that there's something else that we could be doing for him.
And it gives us the hope that's taken away from us the moment we find out our child has a spinal cord injury. And so the hope is actually very real to me and real to the families.
It made sense what she said about the neuroplasticity of infants and that growing and kind of capitalizing on that time when there is rapid development. When we arrived, he couldn't sit at all. Now he can crawl around this entire house so quickly that I have to watch now. He's riding a tricycle, which has just been so amazing. Even if he never does walk, he can ride a bike and he can be active with our family, and that's been huge, just knowing his legs have the ability to do that reciprocal movement and he can move himself alone.
It's life-changing for these children. Kosair Charities has made that possible. This is a very unique program. Parents look for hope and they look for care because you can't get this kind of therapy at your local pediatric outpatient clinic. A mother should never come to me and say, "You're the first person who knows more about spinal cord injury than me."
The therapists are so amazing. I had no idea that people like that existed. I feel like they've all been trained to be kindergarten teachers. They're unbelievable, how they can entertain but educate him.
Parents understand that everything we do in the clinic came out of research, and they'll always say, if it'll help my child, wonderful, but if it helps another child, we're in.
Pretty powerful, isn't it? That smile just said it all. Well, now to speak more about the power of this partnership, I would like to introduce the 18th president of the University of Louisville, Dr. Neeli Ben-Deputy. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Hello, everybody. To Kosair Charities Board of Directors, the advisory board, staff, key leaders, patients, doctors, researchers, and of course, so many of our university leaders who are joining us over Zoom today, thank you. Thank you for being with us here for this extremely meaningful event. We are here for one very simple reason. We're here to say thank you and to celebrate the power of partnership. Partnerships are so important in every aspect of life because when we work together, we achieve greater impact, we make a lasting difference, and we truly change lives. Those videos said it all, and that's a small example of the many, many touching examples we have of the incredible outcomes that can be achieved through the power of partnership. It's personally rewarding to me this afternoon to spend some time reflecting on the wonderful and enduring partnership and celebrating what has happened because of the partnership between Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville. For nearly half a century, the University of Louisville and Kosair Charities have been working together, improving the lives of children in the community, as well as fulfilling the needs of long-term quality medical care. Kosair Charities has undoubtedly made immeasurable contributions to the University of Louisville, to this community, and well beyond. I believe that what makes a partnership great, above all, is a shared vision. And that is certainly the case with UofL and Kosair Charities. Kosair Charities has given so much across so many areas at the University of Louisville, and the impact can be felt far and wide. It's at places like our School of Medicine, as you saw, but you might be surprised to hear that it goes well beyond, to our UofL Health Peace Hospital, to the J.B. Speed School of Engineering, to the UofL Autism Center, just to name a few. Today marks an important milestone in Kosair Charities' charitable giving, but you'll have to wait. We'll get to that momentarily. First, I'd like to recognize just a few of the highlights that have occurred during our nearly half-century relationship. Throughout the years, Kosair Charities has helped us to fund endowed pediatric professorships, to create the Kosair Charities Pediatric Cancer Research Institute, establish the Kosair Charities Pediatric Heart Research Fund, to initiate the Kosair Charities Pediatric Clinical Research Unit, to study a variety of childhood diseases, and many, many more programs in pediatric medicine. In fact, you'd really be hard-pressed to find a pediatric program at the University of Louisville that Kosair Charities has not helped to support in some way or the other. Our partnership has endured this long because of our shared vision for improving lives and the quality of care for the children of Kentuckiana. From purchasing essential resources at Peace Hospital to funding life-saving equipment for our NICU at UofL Hospital Center for Women and Infants, the impact is real and critical. We know that there will always be people in need, unfortunately. But we also know that Kosair Charities has always been there and will always be there to help. Kosair Charities has consistently stepped up for abused children. You heard the statistic, the shameful statistic, of how we lead the country in child abuse. And Kosair Charities has stepped up to help when, frankly, others would not or could not. They have been an ardent supporter of the child abuse prevention programs at UofL, and they have given more than, we could tell you, more than $6 million to support crucial programs and clinics. But as you know, the work is never done. We have so much more to do. And in so many ways, I feel we're just getting started. I do. This is just the beginning. And we look forward to the next 50 years to continue this enduring partnership with Kosair Charities. As we look to the future together, we will always strive towards our shared mission of providing the highest quality healthcare possible to children, as well as to advance the health of all people. The power of this particular partnership is truly saving lives. Kosair Charities is just as committed as we are to the health and well-being of every single child in Kentuckiana. And it's my promise that we will continue to use your support to provide life-changing medical care and conduct groundbreaking research. To H.I. Stroth, Jr., and to Kenneth Rees, and members of the Kosair Charities Board. To Keith Inman, especially to Keith Inman, and the staff of Kosair Charities and the Advisory Council. To all of the steadfast Kosair Charities Shrine members and the community that supports them. We at UofL have a simple message. Thank you. We could not do it without you. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bendapudi. It is my sincere pleasure to now introduce Kosair Charities President Keith Inman.
To start, I have to say, wow. To see this cataloged like this is just truly, truly amazing. You know, you live it every day, you know these things, but when you see this, it's powerful, it's emotional, and it's truly, truly overwhelming. But Elizabeth, I'd like to thank you for not only what you do for the community, but I want to thank you for your dedication to Kosair Charities as a member of our advisory council. You do so much. And Neely, you know, you get mad at me when I call you Dr. Bendapudi, but I appreciate your wonderful comments, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate our friendship. And it's always fun to spend time with you. I just wish that we could spend more time together. So maybe we will when we get out of this pandemic. And I'd like to thank, you know, some of the people you've heard from, you know, Dr. Boland, Dr. Curry, Dr. Jason Chesney, Dr. Andrea Berriman. You know, it's humbling to be just a small part of your accomplishments, and we're just thankful for what you do. You make us proud. You know, for me, you know, it's an important day to speak about the relationship between Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville. You know, it's powerful. It's just made such a difference. But this relationship is so important to not only the community, but to the world, because we have world best programs here and we change lives worldwide. So again, thank you for recognizing it. And you know, the university and Kosair Charities have been together almost 100 years. Even though the financial piece of it may only be about 50, we've been together a long time. And our focus has always been to help kids overcome those obstacles and reach their full potential. So we're always focused on the research programs that we funded and the facilities, the people, but it's the vision and mission that drives us to make the difference. So since our first grant, a real grant to establish the Billy F. Andrews Endowed Chair in Pediatrics, to the recent grants, each has been made to unlock the medical mysteries that adversely affect a child's life worldwide. And we've got more to do. We need to stop child abuse and neglect. We need to help transition kids out of wheelchairs. And we need to cure cancer. But as Dr. Boland said, hey, if we don't do it, who's going to? And we have to do it now. So with Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville partnership, we have to continue to look upstream to find those issues that affect children before they become problems and fix them. So, Louisville is my home, UofL is my school, and Kosair Charities is my passion, and it's just a special day to bring all that together. And for most of you, I've been on every side of this partnership, so it's really, really neat. But we need to focus, we need to have discipline, and we need to trust that we will get there. So, Dr. Bentaputi, thank you, and thank you to the University of Louisville family for recognizing us. And again, this is a very humbling day. So,
this is something exciting that represents the powerful past with Kosair Charities and UofL and the future to come, all the great things that are still to come. As you've been able to see, Kosair Charities and the University of Louisville are a powerhouse partnership enacting real change and innovation for the Louisville community and beyond. Together, this partnership is changing lives forever. And now, for a truly exciting part of our program, I've never gotten to do this before. Drum roll. If you have your party popper, get it ready. Now's the time. As we mentioned earlier, today is a very special day because Kosair Charities has reached a major milestone in their relationship with the University of Louisville. With their recent gifts this past year, Kosair Charities has surpassed $50 million. Woohoo! Lifetime giving. Yes. What a celebration.
That's wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What an amazing accomplishment this is. $50 million in this community and beyond to make children's lives safe, healthy, happy, and full. You have healed families, advanced transformative, life-altering research, allowed for the highest quality health care for infants and children. In a pre-pandemic world, this room would be packed with people from all across UofL, the Louisville community. But since we're obviously unable to have that, we have a short video from individuals who didn't want to miss an opportunity to say thank you.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for your support over the past 39 years of our special partnership. Together, we are helping children realize their potential, overcome obstacles, and live their lives to the fullest.
Without the support of Kosair Charities, we would not have our cutting-edge immunotherapy program that is saving lives today. Thank you, Kosair Charities.
And we just really want to give a big shout out to Kosair Charities for all your support and the funds that you have given us to acquire state-of-the-art technology for our babies.
Kosair Charities, I'd like to thank you for your cherished partnership and investment in the Kosair Charities Center for Pediatric Neurorecovery. What I'd really like to do is come give every one of you a big hug.
Thank you, Kosair Charities.
From the Fraser Peds Rehab Team, thank you, Kosair Charities.
From the Department of Pediatrics here at the University of Louisville, thank you, Kosair Charities, for your partnership and your collaboration, for everything you've helped us do for children in this region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kosair Charities from the College of Education and Human Development at the University of Louisville. Thank you for your support of the Kentucky Autism Training Center.
Hello, I'm Toni Gansel. I'm the Dean of the School of Medicine, and on behalf of the School of Medicine, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Kosair Charities, for your continued dedication to the children of this community.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for supporting my research into new treatments for neuroblastoma and for helping to train the next generation of cancer research scientists.
We would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for the funds that helped us purchase these new state-of-the-art warmers that help us in the resuscitation of our infants.
I'm Terry Brooks of Kentucky Youth Advocates. Thank you, Dr. Curry. Thank you, Card Nation. And thank you, Kosair Charities, for being there for Kentucky's boys and Kentucky's girls.
On behalf of the University of Louisville and the Brown Cancer Center, I want to thank Kosair Charities for their tremendous generosity and support for all of these years. It makes a difference, and it's going to change the way we treat cancer patients.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for supporting high-risk, high-reward research on pediatric brain cancer in my laboratory.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for your support of UofL Health Peace Hospital. We couldn't do it without you.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for your past and continued support of the Brown Cancer Center. This has been truly transformative. It's enabled us to create a pediatric cancer drug discovery program that supported researchers and students to discover new potential drugs to make a difference in pediatric cancer. Thank you for making this difference possible.
Hello, I'm Tom Miller. I'm the CEO of UofL Health, and I want to shout out to Kosair Charities for the remarkable work that you have done in this community in the health of so many, from our at-risk newborns to those seeking rehabilitation and those that we take care at Peace Hospital who are in need. You have been the extra hand for our nurses, our doctors, and all in our community. And so on behalf of UofL Health, our board, and the entire community, thank you for making a difference in the care of so many people.
I'd like to give a huge thank you to Kosair Charities for supporting my cancer research, whose previous and current support is helping my lab make breakthroughs in understanding and treating acute myeloid leukemia in pediatric patients.
Thank you! Thank you, Kosair Charities!
On behalf of UofL Weisskopf and Autism Centers and all of the families that we have supported, thank you. Thank you, Kosair Charities.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kosair Charities, for all of your support. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to have nearly the impact serving vulnerable children in Kentucky.
Thank you, Kosair Charities, for funding the Pediatric Drug Development Program at the University of Louisville Brown Cancer Center, and also for supporting our search for new treatments for medulloblastoma.
I'd like to say to Kosair Charities, thank you so much for your contribution to the Pediatric Neuro Recovery Program at Frazier. It's been life-changing for Luke, and we're forever grateful for the contribution that you're making.
On behalf of the University of Louisville and Kosair Charities, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us today. It is a historic day for a historic partnership, and it is just the beginning. We cannot wait to see how this partnership continues to grow for generations to come. Thank you for helping us celebrate the power of partnership. Foodie or Keith Inman a question, we invite you to simply turn on your mic, go ahead and ask your question. Before you ask, though, please announce your name and the media outlet you're with. I'll let you all go ahead and answer those questions.
We know you're out there. Not all at once.
Hi, it's Debbie Young, and I'll be happy to go first. I wonder, Mr. Inman, if you could talk about how the donations to UofL and children's research figures into the overall amount of money you all give each year, like what percentage it is each compared.
You know, UofL gets a considerable amount of money each year from our grants process. You know, and it varies from, you know, in some years it might be 10%, in some years it might be a little bit more, but it does vary. Consistently, we've been several million a year, you know, with some long-term commitments we made and even the annual stuff that we do. But it's been very clear, you know, through the good work today, it's been very, that it's made a difference. And and I can look at the donors of Kosair Charities, I can look at the board of directors of Kosair Charities and say that this has been a very, very good investment, because not only have we changed lives for Kentuckians, we've changed lives worldwide for the gifts that we've made.
Do you know how much you donate annually to all causes?
To all causes, and it varies based on the market of the year, but we tend to go between 12 and 18 million.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody. This is truly a good news story, and again, on behalf of the University of Louisville, Keith, to you and to Kosair Charities and everybody who's involved, big thank you.
Well, Neely, we met when you first got here.
Yes, sir.
It's been a wonderful relationship, and this is only the beginning. So we're looking forward to big things.
I completely reciprocate that sentiment. You've been wonderful to me from the get-go, personally and professionally, and I'm just deeply thankful.
Well, you're easy to be nice to.
All right, that's good.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody.